Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the first video in our Irish Stick Fighting Online Academy, Antrim Style. My name is Danny Hoskins, and assisting me today is Vince Wilkins. And what we're going to be doing is covering all the aspects of striking and blocking and counterattacking, the self-defense elements, ways of using pads in this course. And right now we have 100 basic lessons in this course, which is going to give you a couple years of training, at which time, when you complete it, you can get with Max, who is the head of our system, right, or myself, and talk about testing or opening up a study group to earn, after you earn rank. Because that's a common question. Hey, when can I start? How long does it take me before I get the instructor? It really depends on you, right? The effort that you put into this program. With that said, let me talk about Max a little bit. My teacher is Max Chouinard, which most of you that are in the Antrim group or have done your research on Irish stick fighting, you know about Max. Max had begun training in Irish stick fighting, I think it was back in 2007. He went to Northern Ireland, trained with Mr. Ramsey and his family art, and was given permission to spread his art worldwide. And of course he taught it with me. I've been with Max probably close to 8 years now. We're spreading this on a global level through these videos and through seminars that we both put on and host. I started Irish stick fighting, or my pursuit in that, it was probably about 10 years ago. And I started with Rob Masson in the Doyle style, and I studied on Mady Mir, which I have a teacher rank in that, which is a hybrid Irish Sea-Lot style. And then the majority of my time was spent with Max, and training in the Antrim style. I'm going to have Vince kind of tell about him a little bit.
I'm Vince. I started martial arts with Chin style Tai Chi Chuan, and then moved on to Japanese martial arts in the Bujinkan, and then for almost 3 years now I've been studying Irish stick fighting with Danny.
All right, cool. So what we're going to do is now we're going to look at what kind of equipment are you going to need for this. Obviously you're going to need a stick. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Usually these canes are about 3 foot long. This one is made out of rattan, and it's about the thickness of my thumb. It's light. This is a great stick. You're going to see we use this in all our videos. It's great for sparring. It's great for training. It's light. You don't want to be oversticked. Overstick means that your stick is just too heavy. And a lot of times when you're doing these movements, if your stick is too heavy, you're just not going to be able to do them, right? A lighter stick is going to be better suited for this style. If you do have a heavier weapon, because that's all you have available, we have a method where we use 2 hands on our weapon, and that functions much better for a heavy weapon. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples of different canes that we have. The first one was obviously the rattan. This second one is a Bada trainer from Purple Heart Armory, and it's a good stick. It's heavy. A lot of people in our program for years, I told everybody to get one of these. I think they're great. Works better with our 2-handed style than one-handed approach. Some people are sparring with this. It's heavy. I mean, you have a chance of breaking something. Unless you have a lot of padding on, you could get hurt with this. Where the light rattan, you could get, you get some what we call like stick hickeys on you, but some whelps, but it doesn't, nothing major, nothing damaging that's going to break or shatter your bone. But they are good to have. It's a good trainer, good stick to have. Next, we kind of have an experimental stick that we did years ago, which is a PVC pipe with foam insulation, wrapped in duct tape all the way up. At the head, we have our foam noodle, or one of those swimming noodles, cut down to about 5 inches long, put on top of that, wrapped up. And we use this for years. And again, it's a little top heavy, but you could train relatively safe and not really get hurt. I mean, you could feel it, but it wasn't nothing that, you were going to get injured, you were going to have any kind of broken bone from. You may just have a little bit of shock, or again, some whelping across the arms. But it was a good training stick, and, you can experiment with something like that as well. Next, we have what we call the Beast, which is the cold steel Bada. This is just way too heavy for our style. For years I tried to train it from here with this heavy weapon, and all I did was give myself tennis elbow, right? So you don't want to train with this. This would be, or for me anyway, hey, if you got the strength and you can throw it around, then go ahead. But I'm telling you from my experience, you're going to wind up with a tendonitis from that. This is a good stick for our double hand method and for some of the self-defense techniques that we're going to learn later on. It works great for that, not so much for, I believe, for the faction fighting aspect of it. And lastly, we have a 4-foot stick. And this again, this would be like Max said that, John said that most of these sticks were like 4 foot, in between 3 and 4 foot long. So this is a little bit longer, so you can kind of see what it feels like to use a longer stick. Again, it's just a rattan stick about the thickness of my thumb, and we use this for training and for sparring as well. Some other equipment that you're going to need real quick is I would definitely invest in some type of a focus mitt. You also can use these clappers done in Taekwondo. These work good for when you're really trying to get kind of funky angles with your strike. These are really good for that. But if you had focus mitts, that's pretty much all you need. For sparring, I would recommend getting a pair of street hockey gloves. These are going to be light, but if you're working with a lighter rattan, you don't have anything to worry about. If you try to work the Purple Heart Armory stick, you're going to wind up breaking your hand with the lighter glove. It allows me to use proper thumb articulation on the weapon itself. And lastly, you would need a fencing mask. This is a mask that I've had for 12 years now, and we've put it through, I've run it through the mill. I've been hitting the head 10,000 times with this mask, and there's no outward sign here, right? Now, if you talk to my wife, she might say different, but outwardly there's no damage here from the stick hits. This is a 3 weapons mask. You can look, I would recommend at least getting a 3 weapons mask or a heavy duty fencing mask, and they sell those at a variety of different sources. You just gotta search the internet a little bit, but you definitely need this for your sparring. Okay, and that ends this introduction, and we're going to be moving through our lessons. And again, I want to thank you for investing in this program.